This is the new world.
Okay, we have no other option.
How much did you have figured it out before going out of Cyprus then?
Probably less than 5%. Of course, at the beginning, there was backlash. For a month, I had to move houses, if any of those were real.
Nicolas Chrysostomou is the founder scaling Piney across Europe.
Turning short-term rental chaos into seamless, tech-driven operations.
Was it planned to do it COVID times?
Our revenue went to zero overnight. Bolt didn't care about the market.
Different house, different floors, different location.
You have to build the technology first. You cannot be a cleaning company and scale like that. This is a logistics business in the end.
Local entrepreneur with a global mind means that your bag is always ready, isn't it? Hello. Welcome to yet another episode of Made in Cyprus, big business stories from a tiny island, or as you guys rebranded us, Mitsia Larotsi. Very interesting episode today because we'll be covering and discussing about the foundational stories of some of the local apps or local presence app that we use every day, guaranteed. All of us use those apps every day. And then we will go into a really interesting, successful story of launching local with a local team with a global mindset and then being able to solve a real problem globally from Cyprus, which we all know building in Cyprus requires also a global mindset because there is only as much you can do in this beautiful island, right? So, but there are a whole set of complexities that comes with, being located here and expanding globally. So, Nicolas, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know you're a busy man, traveling man. Local entrepreneur with a global mind means that your bag is always ready, isn't it?
Right. I mean, I have to change bags every now and then because it's getting used so much.
Brilliant. Listen, buddy, like before we go into the beautiful story of Piney, obviously your current endeavor and that fascinating scaling story. Tell me a bit more about yourself. Were you always an entrepreneur? Did you, as a child, when at school were asking you what you want to do, everyone was saying policemen, firefighters, and you were startup founder. Was it always the case?
No, I mean, it's, when you're young, you don't know that this exists. You don't understand it, especially when we grew up. I think this startup kind of thing came up after the 2000s. So, yeah, I mean, if you asked me back then, I wanted to be a footballer. So, yeah, no police, no firefighting, but that's what I wanted to be. But then, of course, talking about Cyprus, it's not easy to become an international footballer starting from Cyprus.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I went to studies and that's when, I started learning more about business. It was exciting. I studied for a year in San Francisco, which gave me full, visibility on the startup scene in Silicon Valley when it was happening in the 2010s.
Those were the years where the Silicon Valley boom, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you had all these startups coming up like Facebook, Twitter, Uber, Lyft started when we were there. So we saw firsthand with the team that we were there and our friends, how this can scale and how this can boom all of a sudden with the use of technology. And I think that's when, I was more interested in following something like that.
Yeah. And what did you do? So what was your first contamination, let's say, in actually being part of launching something or being part of a startup?
The first big one was with Bolt in Cyprus. So I was in another job back then, and I met some guys that came to launch Bolt here in Cyprus. Some Scandinavian guys. Now, after we became partners and really good friends, they came to Cyprus to launch, and they found a lot of issues. trying to launch here. Back then, it was just the ride-hailing app. And
Back then, Foodie was already in place, yeah?
yeah, so back then it was Taxify. It was not Bolt. So it was only ride-hailing.
Okay.
Foodie was doing food
Foodie was doing
delivery.
the food delivery. Bolt wanted to come here for the taxi ride, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they came with the ride-hailing app, and they wanted to launch here. Obviously, after meeting with a few taxi drivers, they realized
Risking your life.
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stories there. After I got involved with a friend here and took over the operations. Yeah, it was very fast that we started getting death threats.
Yeah.
I mean, from the organized taxi associations and stuff like that.
Yeah, I cannot even imagine but the Bolt proposition is a bit different. We will go into that. But I remember when Uber was launching in Italy, I don't want to quote the days and the data because I don't remember, but it lasted very little because the taxi lobbying were not willing to do that, saying in a polite way. But there was violence, there was protest, and go to Italy, there is no Uber or anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways to launch in a regulated market like Cyprus or Italy.
Yeah.
Bolt came here to launch only with taxi drivers, so not using private cars to disrupt the market.
Yeah.
So the proposition was that we come here, we will invest in people taking a taxi instead of driving every night they go out.
So it was an add-on to the existing ecosystem.
But of course, this is a regulated industry, and the people that run or work in this industry, they feel threatened when something new comes in, and that's
always the case for everything.
That's normal. I mean, that's normal. They should feel that way, and they should protect their rights. But at the same time, it depends how you present it to them, right? So if you present it to them wrongly, then of course you're going to have issues. And if Uber goes into regulated markets, starting to add private vehicles in the street transferring people, then of course they will have issues.
Yeah.
In the Cyprus case, it wasn't like that. We always worked within the legislation. We always tried to include them, and they were going to be making more money. That was the premise. And out of that money, of course, Bolt would be taking a commission because that's how the model works. But yeah, of course, at the beginning, there was backlash. For a month, I had to move houses so that I if any of those death threats were real, then I didn't want to be at home.
Wow. What a beautiful inception journey into the startup world.
Yeah. I mean, I think we learned a lot while running this business, me and my partners there. But yeah, that was my first real taking a risk, because we invested money as well in this, our personal money and whatever we could find here and there. I mean, looking back, I don't know, any sane person wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
do you think that if that happened now with your current business savviness, would you do it again?
I mean, I would, but I would do it differently. I would try to be more protected. I would try to, minimize the risk we're taking. Back then, we were taking a huge risk, no protection, like the deal we had with Bolt, the deal with our partners or whatever. It was all very risky, and it could have gone very, very wrong.
It's interesting. So Bolt obviously had a global playbook of expansion, right? So they obviously had a framework. They had a templated approach. I mean, for an organization like that, they want to do as much copy and paste from one location to the other in terms of operation. I'm interested. What made Cyprus attractive to them? Because it's such a small market, really far away from home, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bolt is from Estonia.
Right.
What the hell?
So, no, you're right. Actually, they were not interested in the market. That's why we had the opportunity to
So you guys
to run it ourselves. So there was this team of Scandinavian guys that made a deal with Bolt to launch Malta.
I see.
Because Bolt was not interested in Malta. And then these guys came to Cyprus. And they thought that, okay, we did Malta, it's going to be very similar to do
Fair enough.
Cyprus as well. But they were, surprised when they came here. It has nothing to do with Malta. I mean, okay, geographically and demographically, maybe you have some similarities, but in terms of mentality and being able to launch the business here, it was very different. So at some point, this guy said, well, it's very difficult for us to scale here. So that's where the opportunity came for me and my partner Michalis to get in, because they said, we are leaving. We cannot do this. We cannot imagine 3 Scandinavian guys trying to convince taxi drivers on the street here in Limassol to join an app called Taxify and make more money.
Yeah.
You can see why.
Yeah. No. To us, it's pretty obvious that it's a challenge. To them, poor Scandinavian guys with the Northern European countries said, "Wow, how hard can it be?"
Yeah.
So that's where you guys came in. Yeah, you were kind of like the bridge between the brands, the product, and the local ecosystem.
Yeah. So Bolt didn't care about the market, to be honest. Like they didn't invest any money. That was the deal.
Yeah.
We had to raise the money, we had to find the money, we have to invest our own money. So Bolt didn't care. So if it went well, then it would go well for them. If it didn't, and Bolt did this in a few markets. Actually, Cyprus and Malta was not the only markets that they did this. They had some partners here and there that in the end, they ended up consolidating in their business. They took them in.
Yeah. So in a way, if people are able to book a taxi through Bolt today, it's also quite a lot because of the work that you guys did.
Yeah, it was hard for sure. First year was really hard until we get the taxi drivers to understand that it's only helping them.
Yeah.
Like no one invested in this industry for years or never. Right?
Probably never, isn't it? I can't imagine.
And we came out with campaigns, with providing discounts to clients to take a taxi that we were paying, and we had issues with the authorities because we were not allowed to offer discounts to clients. So that's another issue here with the legislation. Like I understand protecting the industry, but like if someone wants to pay for people's rights, you should leave them do it.
Yeah. They were trying to protect votes.
But again, the taxi drivers were getting paid the full amount, right? So we had issues with authorities, which was always like these issues were generated by other taxi drivers complaining that they're giving discounts, they're killing competition, and you are still getting paid.
Yeah.
So
and obviously this business is pretty much like a marketplace, right? So supply and demand.
Yep.
Did you have less difficulty in onboarding the demand, onboarding the bookers, the travelers?
I mean, to be honest, it wasn't that difficult. We were just running ads online.
It was more about awareness. It's possible now to book on an app.
Right. I mean, and we could see our strongest city was Limassol. And I don't think is by chance, because in Limassol you had more expats that are more aware of these things, and they have used it abroad. And
they're coming from places where it's part of their daily life.
Exactly. And we could see that demand in Limassol was so much higher than in Nicosia or Larnaca, because you had all these expats here, and that helped a lot. And of course, awareness was a big thing, because even 3 years later, there's people that don't know that they can do that and how efficient it is. And you go out for drinks, like just don't take your car. You can, right?
I have to say it's 2-3 times more expensive than the rest of Europe, though, in Cyprus.
Yeah, taxis are expensive here. So, but that's what you get when you have a regulated market, right? Yeah. Prices are are high. They only go higher. There's no free competition. There's no one to drive the price down. So that's going to continue happening unless they open up the industry.
Yeah, I remember like we were traveling we were in Portugal last summer, and
Portugal is super cheap.
we were just overusing them.
Yeah,
You know, if
yeah.
it was more than 1 kilometer, just get a Bolt or get a Uber, like
Yeah, yeah.
€1.50, €2. I'm like this is ridiculous.
It's funny.
And even
yeah.
longer rides, like a half an hour, €7, no
it's
brainer.
crazy. It's crazy. You mentioned Portugal. So we have operations with Piney in Portugal. A lot of times it makes a lot more sense instead of sending one of our drivers to do something just to get it.
Also for business, yeah.
Yes.
It's super.
It's so much cheaper. Like
Yeah.
we need to deliver bed sheets urgently to a house, and our drivers are doing other things, and we're paying them a salary or whatever. It's like just take an Uber. It's gonna cost €5. Just send it there.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you think the market will ever open up a bit further, or like this is the lock situation?
I mean, it's very hard. I don't see it happening soon. Politicians are afraid to touch it, and I get it.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of the taxi driver. It's just that the taxi drivers is an organized community that can affect elections, and that's how politics affect this
As simple as that.
Industry. Yes.
100%. And then what happened? Then what made you move on?
I mean, just to close off the Bolt chapter, we launched food delivery as well. When Bolt introduced food delivery, this was during COVID times. I mean, when COVID hit,
Was it planned to do it COVID times, or it happened that it was in the schedule and then the pandemic happened? So did you guys react or planned it?
Actually, we had made the decision not to go into food delivery.
Yeah.
2 or 3 months before COVID.
Why?
We actually decided and said, so Bolt came, said, you can do food delivery. And we said, well, we don't want to touch that because you had Foodie, that was the only player in the market back then. They were bought by Delivery Hero. And then you had Wolt coming in. So we said, we don't have the budget to compete with them. And we made the decision not to do it. But then COVID hit and our revenue went to zero overnight with taxis because of the lockdowns. No one was moving around. And we had a team of 10, 12 people. We had our payroll every month. So we went to zero revenue and we didn't know what to do. And we said, okay, we have no other option. We would have never gone into food delivery if COVID didn't hit. We would continue doing our ride-hailing thing and all of that. But then we had no options. If we wanted to keep these people busy and try to build something, because back then everyone thought that this is going to last forever, that
this is the new world.
This is the new world. We're never going to be moving freely out there. So we're like, we spent 2 years to build this, and then now it's all gone. So we said, okay, we have the team. Let's switch them up to food delivery. Let's learn how to run this business in 2 days, and let's launch and see.
Get the hardware from Bolt, distribute it in the restaurants, get people to download the apps.
It was so hard to get anything. You remember, like logistics globally were crippled, ships not moving, stuff like that. So we had to find solutions on how to do it. We found local people building bags. So the first bags we had for our delivery couriers were custom made from a guy that has a small shop somewhere in Nicosia that we found, and we told him, this is what we need. It needs to be green. It needs to have this logo. It needs to be insulated. And then because we were waiting for hardware and stuff to come, and they wouldn't, like with tablets as well. We went and instead of getting the tablets that Bolt had
pre-installed,
we had to buy locally all the hardware to start.
Wow.
We even bought bikes or hired or rented bikes so that we had our own fleet of bikes and stuff like that. It was crazy times. I mean, and we had to do it fast because the only advantage we had against, let's say, Walt was that some people knew us already, the Bolt brand or whatever, while Walt had to build that from the beginning. So what we did was to launch Limassol first because it was our strongest city.
Higher chance of leveraging existing brand awareness.
Exactly. Plus, Walt was still not in Limassol. They launched from Nicosia, which I think was a mistake for them, but it worked out well for us. So the only reason we ended up making something out of this was because we launched Limassol before Walt.
Wow. Mate, but what a terrific lesson, even though it was painful, but what a terrific school of startup that experience was. Like problem solving, moving fast, just get it fucking done no matter what. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I can see how that like was a crash course for you.
It was like all the MBAs combined in like 2-3 years. Like
amazing.
And I think what we learned most was that there is no like issue that you cannot actually solve or sit down and find a way to tackle because I'm telling like what we're doing now, like with Piney or whatever else I've seen, is definitely easier than what we did back then. So I think we went through like getting death threats, legal issues all the time with the couriers as well, with the taxi drivers, with the authorities. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. It's a regulated market in the ride hailing. In food delivery, you were competing with Wolt and Foodie, right? Obviously, those guys are much bigger. They had a lot more money to do what they did. But the fact that we actually managed to get some market share, I think it's an amazing thing, and a big part of that was the team we had. So people a lot of times they underestimate the power of having, the right team.
Yeah.
And we would never have made it if we didn't have the team we had in Bolt. And I'll give you a very good example. We came to Limassol to pitch to restaurants to get in the platform. And we found out that a lot of them were not on Foodie. And when we asked them, why are you not on Foodie? The answer was that, well, no one came to talk to us. And some of them even said that they told us if we want to join the platform, we should go to their offices in Nicosia and talk. As soon as we heard that,
they made it harder.
We had a team that was leaving Nicosia every morning at 8 o'clock, going to Limassol until 10, 12 at night, pitching to restaurants to get them in. So it's not easy to find these people that will wake up in the morning, drive here, stay until 10, 12 at night, and then come back and feel satisfied when they signed. We were not paying a lot. We didn't have the money to pay a lot. So this was more of how the culture developed, that we're going against these big guys like Delivery Hero and Wolt and all of that. So the only way to win something is if we work harder than them. There is nothing else. We don't have more money than them. We will not do marketing better than them. So we had to see where our strength was, and our strength was in working more hours, working harder, and that's the only reason why we got some market share in this.
And being smarter as well. I think that is a terrific philosophy. I think no startup in the world can outspend the current participant of any given market. but they can outsmart them and
Yep.
they can outwork them. You know,
Yep.
if even if you just outwork them alone, like no one will be able to work as harder than you. No one will be able to try as harder than you. You will get there.
Exactly.
Eventually, you will get it. Yeah, I love that, and I think like you were thrown into the war, but like I am sure that you got so many nuggets for that into Piney. And so what's the transition then, Bolt to Piney?
So after we launched food delivery as well, Bolt came in and said, now we're interested in the market. So
now it works. Now you guys made it.
Yeah. Now you went through all the things that we didn't want to go
we will
through.
come now. Thank you. Like with a red carpet. Please welcome.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So they came in. They made us an offer. We sold and they came in. And now they
so
are
you
running.
You sold the
the operational business here, and they have been running it for the past 3-4 years now. And then I moved on to Δουλεύει Taras, or Your Hero, which is an online platform for finding professionals for home, like plumbers, electricians.
Yeah, like in UK there is TaskRabbit or something like
TaskRabbit,
that.
Check a Trade, or different websites like that.
And now in Cyprus there is the
AnyMaster. Yeah, and it was actually Argyris first, and the guys from Foodie first try. Yeah. They had a website called At Your Service. It was one of the first startups in Cyprus, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I went there to work with the team. They were expanding to Portugal and Ireland, so I went there and worked on the expansion with them. And while I was there, that's where Piney started forming, because I got exposure to, the home services / cleaning business, and we were getting a lot of requests for short-term rental cleaning when I was there, and that's when we decided. I knew someone in Larnaca that was managing 30 properties, and he was calling me every week saying, I need a cleaner. Please send me a cleaner. I have this problem. My cleaning crew didn't show up. I'm not happy with their quality and all of that. I was not sending a cleaner to him, because I told him, go on the platform and call for a cleaner if you want. That's how it works. We don't do that. So this is not a service we provide. People calling saying, I need a cleaner. But then after like 3-4 weeks that this kept happening, I told him, okay, let's go for coffee and let's understand why you have this problem every
just
week.
Just to get him off your phone calls.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe there's something here, because why can you not solve this problem? And then the more we talked, the more I realized that there was a huge gap in professional services for property managers. And I told him, look, I'll set up a team. We'll clean your properties for a couple of months. We will not charge you anything. We don't know how to do this. We need to see where the problems are. It's going to be better than what you do now, because now obviously you have a huge problem. So just let us see if this is something we want to work on.
So that was your MVP, let's say.
Yeah. So the more we looked into it, we realized that this industry was serviced by traditional, cleaning companies that don't have technology. They don't have the know-how to scale. So whenever a property manager was scaling to more than 20, 30, 40 properties, they were finding it really hard to find someone that can support their operations on the ground. Yeah. So that's when we said, still at Δουλεύει Taras, we said, okay, let's build the service around this and let's start servicing these people. So we started doing that. Soon enough, we realized that this business had nothing to do with the platform business. So we decided to spin off that service into an independent company so that we could raise money as well. only for that business and let it grow the way it should grow. So that's what we did. And we started from Cyprus, but very fast, because of the connection with the operational side of the home services business in Greece and Portugal, we within 6 months after launching in Cyprus, we launched Athens and we launched Lisbon as well.
Wow. But so help me understand how it works, because you're solving a problem that it sits in between a digital first experience of booking an accommodation, right? I think that's a problem that has been solved 15 years ago with Airbnb booking and whatever. And then run on paper servicing ecosystem, right? So the cleaners and everything. So how did you guys fix that? Because obviously it sounds like you're onboarding a huge problem from your client perspective, and you managed to scale in 6 months out of Cyprus. So I want to understand, what did you guys build to make that possible and to make it so smooth?
Yeah, so just to explain exactly what we do is that we have nothing to do with the demand side of this industry, like the guest booking and all of that. We do something that people don't see, and
it's a background.
A lot of times the people are shocked with what it entails to have a property ready for someone that booked it through Airbnb. There's so many points that things can go wrong while preparing that apartment for someone to come and live in. So what we do is we provide the cleaning service for property managers so that they don't have to find cleaners, they don't have to recruit cleaners, train cleaners, or deal with their problems. So we take that all on us. We have warehousing, so we store all the linen that needs to be stored. We do the laundry, we do the logistics, so we will transport the linen from the warehouse to the house at the time that needs to be transferred. We will pick up the dirty linen, we'll bring them back to our warehouse, and we will provide all the amenities, shampoos, anything that needs to go into the house, so that the property manager can focus on growing their business instead of dealing with all this operational hassle that they need to deal with. So to do that at scale, obviously we needed technology to support us, because it's impossible. Imagine, like in Athens, we might have 150 cleanings on the same day, like 150 checkouts, where these are 150 different locations in Athens. That's
different floor plan, different house, different floors, different location.
Different locations.
It's not like an hotel that at least all the rooms are copy and paste.
Right? So this is a logistics business.
That's absolute nightmare.
This is a logistics business in the end, because someone cannot manually decide which cleaner is going to go where, what time, which houses need to be prepared first because they have a back-to-back check-out, check-in on the same day. How much time a cleaner needs for this house, how much time they need for that house, how much time they need to go from this house to the next, and plan 150 cleanings within a period of 4 or 5 hours that you have to prepare them, because you have the checkout at 11 and then people are checking in at 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So that's why we couldn't find anyone that was doing this at scale, because you have to build the technology first. You cannot be a cleaning company and scale like that. You have to be a technology company that understands and can run operations at the same time. So obviously it was a steep learning curve. We had to learn a lot of things. We made a lot of mistakes. It was new to us. Yes, obviously we've run operational business before, but this is completely new now. We're building the technology, we're building the product. We're at the same time, we have to solve all these logistics issues. We have warehouses, we have cars, we have drivers, we have cleaners, we have supervisors. You are doing this in different countries. So it was very complex, and it still is. We're still learning, and we're still improving the product. We're still improving our service. We're still changing things in the way we present them to our clients, in the way we execute. But yeah, I think, you know, a lot of times people think we can talk a little bit about the benefits of starting from Cyprus and the challenges. So for me is that I think there's three main benefits of starting out from Cyprus. One, you are one phone call away from your ideal client, right? It's a small country. You know, we know people. So
Everyone is a cousin.
yeah, I mean, I want to talk to someone to validate the market.
Yeah.
I can pick up the phone and say, hey, can you please connect me with this guy, that guy. Within a week, you can sit in front of 3 of your ideal clients and talk to them. Right? If you're in London, if you're in Paris, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's not easy to arrange these meetings. It's not easy to find someone that knows someone to do that. So
it's not even easy to see your friends, you
Yes,
know?
exactly.
If you don't see them that agreed schedule, it might be in 2 weeks.
exactly. And you need 1.5 hours to go where they are and another 1.5 hours to. So that's one thing. The second one is it's super cheap to test here. It's much cheaper to test what you want to do. So if you're talking about anything B2C, then it's much cheaper to run ads and reach the whole island than I want to reach everyone in London. I want to reach everyone in Paris. You need to spend 10 times more if you want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think the third one, and I think the most important one is that you can more easily bootstrap in Cyprus than anywhere else. So it goes with the second point that it's cheaper here. But, you know, you find co-founders that live with their parents and they have no expenses and they can live off of that without needing a salary or whatever.
The support network.
The support network you have here to fail a few times until you make it, I think it's amazing. You don't have that. Like if you go like in Scandinavian countries, you get kicked out of your house at 18. That's it.
True.
You have to go out, get a job, find a way to make a living, and you don't have the chance to risk. You don't have the fallback that if everything goes wrong, I go back to my parents. I live there for a year or so. I build back my career or whatever, and I start again. You don't have that anywhere else, I think. But then there are a few risks as well of building from Cyprus. And one of them is that it's not like the market here will not show you what it's going to be like when you try to make it in New York or in London or in Paris or in Madrid. This is a good testing ground, but it doesn't mean that if it looks like it works here, that it will work in big cities.
Or vice versa, I guess.
Or vice versa. So everyone should be aware that, you can test it here, but you should be fast in testing it in a bigger market. Because if you spend too much time testing and building according to what you see is happening here in Cyprus, you're going to miss a lot of things. Because if you want to build something global, then you cannot build based on assumptions you make that you take from the Cypriot market. It's not the same. Now, if you do it in Athens, then it's closer to the bigger cities, and you will find...
It's a good first step out, yeah.
Right? It depends what you do, I guess. It depends what you do, but especially if it's an operational business like ours, you have to test it somewhere different. Like, logistics are different in big cities. And you need to see if what you're building actually satisfies the needs of where you want to scale. Because if you just build for Cyprus and say, it's working perfectly here, let's go do the same thing somewhere else, you'll find that you need to change your product completely, probably. Even like clients could, even if you're in B2B software, right, and you build the software for insurance companies here in Cyprus, you say, okay, this is how they work, this is what I'm going to build. And you go to another city in Europe and you find out, they have 20 solutions like this here. It doesn't mean that if the need is here in Cyprus that you will find this need anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to test it fast. And for us, the fact that we tested fast in Athens and Lisbon, that's what helped us from the beginning to build something, a service and the tech that would support us in different countries.
But how much did you have figured it out before going to out of Cyprus then?
Probably less than 5%.
Oh, very, very early then.
We were testing actually in all the countries. So we were learning in all the countries, and we could see that they were working differently, and that we had to build a more flexible solution that could allow us to do that.
Were you not afraid of reputational damages? Because obviously you must have a lot of situations where you guys fucked it up at the beginning, right?
We did.
Were you not afraid of those damages?
I mean, not afraid. I mean, we didn't like it, and we didn't want it to happen. And when it happened, obviously, it didn't feel good. But it's inevitable. I mean, if you will fuck it up sometimes, and okay, there is clients that we fucked up with, and okay, some of them, if you keep the relationship at least, and they understand that this was strictly business, maybe you can work it out with them in the long run, because they can see the improvements that were made since you started. But yeah, that's a risk that you have to be careful in, especially in small industries that people know each other. If someone starts saying, I tried them,
They didn't work.
It doesn't work, then it takes a lot of work to convince someone that things changed and this is not the service you're providing, this is something else, we improved, we did this, we did that. So, and that's another risk in a small country like Cyprus. In Paris, it's much harder. Like, okay, you fuck it up with a couple of clients, that's fine.
20 million people.
In Cyprus, you have to be very careful.
Yeah. And so tell me those milestones, right? So you guys went out early in the first 6 months. You told me you guys went out, and then build me a timeline to today.
So we went out to Greece and Portugal.
Why Portugal?
Because Duleftaras was already there. I spent a lot of time there, and I recruited a team there, so we knew people. It was easier. The office, network then, office was there, so it was easier to launch. And also, to be honest, like Lisbon is one of the top 5 cities in Europe when it comes to tourism and seasonality, stability throughout the year.
Yeah, big events as well, big hub. They did the passport incentives a few years ago, so it's very, very lively.
Exactly. So then within a year, we ended up servicing around 900 properties, from 30 to 900 properties in like within a year. Yeah, that was a mistake.
I was gonna ask how much of your technology you had figured it out by then?
Probably 20%.
Nah. So what was it? You just couldn't say no, or what was like you guys were seeing the growth and it was too sexy?
We were seeing the growth. We were still learning. So the more we did, the more we learned.
The more you learn.
We could see different needs. So the more clients you talk to, the more clients you service, you find more problems. I said
the backlog grows and grows.
So I said, okay, maybe it was not a mistake, but definitely we could have paced it better. But on the other hand, thinking about it, like, we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't go through that so fast, because now we're we are servicing around 3,000 properties. It's going to be around 4,000 very soon. And I mean, yeah, to be here and to be doing that, it means that we did something right.
Yeah.
We did a lot of things wrong, of course, but I think the fact that in every country we go to, we can see that the need is there. You know, it shows that we're building something that people want everywhere, not just here.
The problem you guys solve, it's fairly universal, right? But what is interesting what you said about the logistic that changes, right? So the framework of the problem solution, it's pretty much copy and paste in terms of hospitality around, right? It's more about making it the operational logistical aspect of it, right?
Yeah, and I can give you some examples. So in Athens, cleaners can use public transport to move around the city, okay? Because you have the metro and you have the buses, it's pretty much okay.
Yeah.
In Lisbon, you can't do that. So the operational model changes completely because now in Lisbon, someone needs to transport the cleaners.
Yeah.
The cleaners cannot drive in Lisbon because there is nowhere to park.
Yeah.
So you need to have a driver that will coordinate this whole thing and take cleaners from here to there, then deliver linen, then come back. So the actual model changes. And this is why I was saying, if we were building this based on what we know from Cyprus, we would build a process where the cleaners have their own car, they park outside the house, they do the cleaning, they go back in their car, they go somewhere else. It doesn't work anywhere else in the world, this thing. So we need to be flexible in every city, but of course, the more cities you work in, you can see that, okay, these 3 cities work in the same way. These 2 cities work in the same way. So you find 2-3 different models and you say, okay, so Lisbon is like Heraklion in Crete. Athens is like Madrid. So this is the model we work in Athens. In Madrid, this is the model we work in Lisbon. This is the model. But that's the thing. If you don't see this early on, you might end up building something that you need to rebuild.
You cannot You cannot create templates, basically.
Or at least you should know what templates you need to create.
Yeah. Right? And now my assumption will be that your next expansions are based on cities that have the similar problems that you guys already solved. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, now this year we launched Madrid and Paris. We will launch Barcelona as well soon because as soon as you enter a country, then the big cities we should tackle. And then what we are seeing now is that we have clients that are pulling us into markets. So we have clients that have properties in different markets. And once they start working with us, they're like, okay, I got a call yesterday from a client saying, when are you coming to Romania? Like, what's in Romania? Well, we have 200 properties and we want someone to do this, and we work with you in Athens, and I was wondering if you guys are planning to come.
And these guys do only short-term rentals,
yeah. So it's a bit tricky to decide. I mean, we have to be careful not to. You have 200 properties here. Let's go. Let's do it. I mean, it makes sense. We will break even with 200 properties. We don't need more. But then you are adding layers of complexity where you still have big cities like London. I mean, Madrid, we just launched. Paris, we just launched. So we need to take advantage of being there and try to get as much market share as we can in those cities before moving on to something else.
Is it a matter of focus?
It is definitely a matter of focus, and we can see that. I mean, we launch a new city. If we're not there, the team, like the management team and myself, and if we're not there, things go wrong. So it's more of a matter of allocating time to there. So that's focus, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. And what's your vision then, guys?
I mean, for now, because I say for now because the vision changes as well as you understand the market more and what it needs. But right now, from what we know and from what we see, is that there is still a huge gap in this in all the markets. We want to be the largest service provider for property managers in Europe. If we're not right now, I don't know. We haven't found anyone doing it at a bigger scale than us.
Yeah.
But as we keep growing, of course, we're going to solidify that position. And there are a few things that we're looking into. For example, now we're just B2B, right? We're servicing big property managers. 70% of this market is not B2B. It's individual owners of houses. It's people that have their grandma's house and their aunt's house and they're managing them.
Yeah, micro operations, yeah.
Yeah. So this is 70% of the market across Europe. Only 30% is managed by professional property managers.
I will be salivating on that number. So I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. So the question is, do you try to build a product that can serve this side of the market, or
wait a bit more?
There's pros and cons for products. Someone will say, but the 30% is already huge enough. You don't need to, like, if you have less than 1% now of that 30%, why would you go?
And it's a 30% B2B, meaning business to business, meaning operations to operations, meaning professional to professional.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And then when you're going B2C, it's completely different. It's business to customer, and customer, every single person is different.
Exactly. So, and the reason why we're not servicing this segment is because of what you said. Everyone is different. So I want the pillow like this. I want this like this. I want that. You cannot standardize. So the only way to do that is if you provide a service that you say, this is it.
Longer contracts,
higher prices. And say, this is it.
You basically offer a service that you make of that micro operation an actual business. Yeah. So you can standardize it. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Nicolas, thank you very much for your time. Before I let you go, finish this sentence with one word or less. Well, less than one word you cannot.
Yeah.
With a few words.
I'll try.
That was very unclear instructions. Scaling is?
Well, it's chaos that you need to find a way to control.
Love that. Operations are?
Where your strategy will make it or die.
Brilliant. Ultimate testing ground. Love that. Cyprus is?
It's a place to test, but not what will define what you do.
Yeah, testing it out. Love that. Competition is?
Competition keeps you on your toes, but it shouldn't distract you.
Yeah. And Piney will be?
Well, the largest service provider for property managers in the world.
Yes, mate. I love that. Thank you very much for your time, buddy. Thank you so much. Guys, thanks for staying here yet for another episode, and I'll see you next time.